ask the clerk if we're recording.
Are we recording?
We are, Madam Mayor.
Take your gavel, strike it one time on the wood. Okay, very good. You've let the people know that you are opening this council meeting for this date and time.
Okay. Do I say the date and time?
Anytime, go ahead.
Okay, so today is October 20, 2023 at Parker City Hall.
And council meeting's open?
Council meeting is open.
Okay, very good. Would everybody please come, I always get this wrong, I always say come to attention, would everybody in the room please stand for the national anthem, for the Pledge of Allegiance. You turn and face the flag, please. Are you ready? Lead us.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we may have accomplished more today than the Senate and the Congress have this morning. Very good. So what is our itinerary for today?
What
So-
comes next?
This one.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
hold on a
first,
second. We're going to call the roll first. I miss this part every week. I don't know why, but I always do. I get ahead of myself. We're going to ask the clerk to call the roll.
will you call the roll, please?
I will, Madam Mayor. Thank you. Miss Banda,
Here.
Miss Adams Peoples,
Here.
Miss Graham,
Here.
Mayor Dunn.
Here.
So now that's recorded for the record, you see. And then when she types up what happens today in our meeting, it will be recorded that all of you were here for this event. And maybe we could even get you a set of minutes when this is over and bring it to your school, and you guys can have that for a souvenir. So we've called the roll. We've done the pledge. All of the members of your cabinet are in office. They're all here. We are under the gavel. What is the first subject theme on there?
Budget.
The budget.
And I can present a brief summary of the budget, Mayor, if you
You
would like
can.
me to.
Before we get to the first item on the agenda, I'd like to take a minute for each of you to read the essay that was presented to Parker School. Would you like to start, ma'am?
If I was mayor of Parker for the day and someone gave me 100,000, I would spend it accordingly. First, I would purchase better and more exciting playground equipment. I would reward the students with a fun and tasty meal at least once a month. Thirdly, I would feed the homeless and elderly and shut in for 2 weekends out of the month. Lastly, bikes will be purchased for all walking students to use throughout the school year. Our city school playgrounds need funner equipment like our parks have. I would put a community together to order and lay out the playground diagram. The project will be budgeted for $30,000 and a 4-week completion deadline. I would communicate with the principal on the idea and give him or her the check to pay for it, and we'll host a group breaking ceremony for all the students with good grades and not so bad attendance. I would meet with the lunchroom staff to come up with an exciting, fun lunchable to be held once a month. It will cost $30,000 for the school year. At their lunchable, students will receive a certificate. I will reach out to the Department of Human Resources to get at least a list of different help agencies. We would take $20,000 and feed the homeless and elderly and shut in twice a month. I would donate a check for this amount so this outreach program can be carried out for 1 year. It's not fair. Some students get to ride buses and cars while others have to walk in the rain, so I would delegate some great members of the community to take 20,000 check to go to the Walmart and to purchase bikes. These bikes will be for use during the school year. I would host a bike ceremony to present them to the students. I think I will enjoy being mayor for a day. I understand it's a huge responsibility, but I am up for the task. I am pretty sure the students, the homeless, and the elderly would appreciate having me to serve them.
Very good. Very, very good. You're up.
I'm sure being mayor is a hard job, but if I were mayor of Parker for just one day and someone gave me $100,000 to spend, I would do so much good. Here's a few different things I could do. First, I would start to open a large building for all homeless people in Parker. Or I will open a large shelter for stray dogs. Or I can also clean up and fix the streets of Parker. First, I will start to open a large building for all homeless people. Here's about 15 things I would need for my building: showers, bed, food, plates, table, blanket, pillow, fridge, toys, books, place where kids learn, cameras, electricity, and sofa. Some places I could find those items are at Home Depot, Walmart, and maybe even garage sales. It will probably take 2 to 3 years to finish the building. I will try and do it every day to accomplish it very quickly, but I will do it happily. I will be so happy when I see kids and adults happy. This will help because homeless people don't get to eat, sleep, take a shower, and don't have a comfortable blanket or pillow. Next, I'll start to open a big shelter for stray dogs. Here are 6 resources I will need for the shelter: cages, dog bowls, food, and a lot of love. Workers, blankets, and pillows. I can find those items or resources at Home Depot and Walmart. It might take at least 1 to 2 years to finish the shelter. It can be paid for by working hard every single day to achieve this goal. I will be so happy seeing dogs and puppies play and feel like they matter. This is important because in Parker there are a lot of dogs starving and abandoned, and that's why we have to do something about it. Last, I would clean up and fix the streets of Parker so no one will pop their tires or get hurt. Here are several things I will need: cement, many workers, time, muscle tools, cement trucks, and hydration for me and the workers. I will be super happy and concentrate so the goal can be quick, but I know when it is done it will look very good. I will find cement and tools at Home Depot, and I will rent trucks, and I'll find hydration at stores by buying water. It might take 1 to 1.5 years to finish. It is important because people get into collisions. Conclusion. Being mayor of the day in Parker is very hard, but it's worth the time and muscle. Homeless people don't have food and a place to sleep. Dogs have fleas and are starving. Streets have dents and trash, and people get into collisions. What would you do if you were mayor of Parker? And what would you do if you were mayor of Parker? And what would you do if you were mayor of Parker?
Very good. You're up.
Ms. Gray.
You're next. Is that yours?
She said that's not her essay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass you. Any help, ladies?
No, she was giving hers in the office for Miss Harlan.
You gotta be kidding me. Good.
So I was getting ready to look up.
It's a house fire.
Yeah. Tiffany Lane. Stock is on his way.
Yeah, it's on leave.
Purdue's at the CPT, so
Okay.
I may have to go too.
Yeah. we're gonna proceed on with what we've got unless something changes. So, did your dad go get your essay? Yes, he did. Very good. Okay. Mayor, would you mind doing yours?
Yes. If I was mayor of Parker for a day and someone gave me $100,000, here are some things I would do. First, I would hold a town meeting. Next, I would love to make a community area. Then I would send money to the homeless shelter. Finally, I would like to make a turtle sanctuary. The first thing I would do with the money for Parker is to hold a town meeting. I would do this because the people respond to opinions, not just facts. I want to see the people of Parker happy to walk out the door and see the things that they suggested. That's why reaching out to the community is important as the mayor of Parker. Next, I would like to make a community area. This would be great because I want to have an area where kids can make friends and have fun together. The adults can talk with other adults. In this community area, I will include a splash pad, pool with a slide, dog park, and picnic tables. I would also like to give money to the homeless shelter. For the reason why is because Florida does over 300 projects, and the projects help the state with over $115,000 a year. But this does not cover or help all the homeless people. I feel that this is important because I would love people to have more privileges, just as I do with my family. A safe place to sleep, healthy food, and the support they need when they need it most. Last but not least, I would like to help save the turtle population by creating a turtle sanctuary. The sanctuary would protect all types of turtles and keep the turtle eggs safe before hatching. I feel this would help the community by creating a good way to help the environment and create a safe environment for one of my favorite animals. This could create volunteer opportunities for children of all ages, sharing the importance of ocean life. In conclusion, if I was mayor of Parker with $100,000, I would want to improve my community, improve its bid by reaching out to the town for suggestions, creating a community area, giving money to the homeless shelters, and creating turtle sanctuary. All of these are important to me because I want to give back to the area I'm so proud to be a part of.
I'm sorry he had to leave, but we'll work through it together. You're up. Your essay.
If I was mayor of Parker for the day and someone gave me $100,000, I would spend it by beginning with planting trees so that it can be plenty of more air. This is because I also want to see more plants on properties and have more of a natural setting. Then I would like to create gyms designed for children. Finally, I would like to add more recycling cans to more areas. Having plants and trees around a healthy environment by helping in slowing harmful gases that's in our planet and also filtering harmful things from the air that we breathe. Many living things depend on trees as their habitat, and plants produce food, fiber, shelter, medicine, and also fuel. To sum up, plants and trees are really precious and valuable, so we should try to keep as many trees and plants that we can. Everyone should be healthy, including children. Some would build a gym designed just for children. There isn't many gyms made for kids, which is a bad thing because I think there should be as many kids gyms as regular gyms. Exercising helps you stay healthy, and it's something everyone should do every day. Exercising regularly every day helps improve your brain health, weight, and reduce risks of diseases, strengthens your bones and muscles, and improves the ability to everyday activities. After all, exercising is really important and everyone should be able to do that. Landfills are not good for us in the environment because landfills include harmful chemicals and things. One solution is recycling, because with recycling you can just turn a used water bottle to a new water bottle, and that's amazing. Recycling also has another reason for being a solution for landfills. The reason is keeping the useful items left out of the landfills, and the useful items are used for many different things, which is why I want to also see more recycling cans in more areas. In summary, recycling keeps the environment from getting happening. In conclusion, based on all these points, it is best to help things safe, organized, clean, and healthy. Trees and plants are important to us in the environment. Exercising and staying physically active are good for our strength and everyday activities. Recycling keeps things still useful. Would you help your child be the mayor?
Very good. Thank you. Very good. Isn't it strange how everybody's such a diversified? Is it the first time you heard each other's essays?
Yeah.
Had you heard each other's already? Did you read them at school? You kiss your friends, yeah. Interesting, the things that you would like to do. Mr. Summerlin, how much is the road resurfacing in front of Parker School? Do you know off the top of your head that one?
Well, the 3 roads altogether are about 800,000.
800,000 just for 3 road tops. You know, the money in government, it's we spend a lot of money on infrastructure. When you turn on your shower, the work that it takes to get that water to come out of that spigot is amazing. People don't realize. They see the fire department, they see the police department, but they don't realize just what Public Works does in order to get the things to happen that happens to make our lives easy, really. So, okay, so Madam Clerk, where are we at with our next step? What are we going to do?
Mayor, if it's okay, I will present the budget. And I'll just give you an understanding. These numbers do come from our actual city budget. However, they don't represent. I adjusted accordingly. So the actual city budget is much more complicated than what we're going to see here. So if you look at the very top of your budget, your general fund paper, it's the budget paper right here.
It's Agenda 1.
Agenda item number 1. This one on top. So if we look at the very top, we'll see our prior year ending balance. We had $2,359,405. You will see our revenue section underneath that, where we anticipate bringing in $2,744,125. Together, our revenue for this fiscal year is $5,103,530. And then if we go down to appropriations, this is what we have to spend. So, as the mayor noted, you will see that the streets is the biggest number. We have to spend the most on making sure that we fix up our streets. And we're anticipating spending $3,525,132, which means our only surplus for other projects is what's highlighted in green, $1,578,398. And on your agenda, you have 2 items in front of you, a hazard mitigation appeal and a park development project. Keeping in mind that your fiscal year has just started, so you have all of this year, and not knowing what might be coming in front of you, you have these 2 projects in front of you today to consider. Do we want to do those? Do we want to spend the city money on that? How much do we want to make sure we keep for the rest of the year? All right, Madam Mayor, that's the budget. So we can move on to agenda item number 2.
What's item number 2?
Item number 2.
What does it talk about?
It's the hazard
Mitigation.
appeal.
Okay, and what is this? Normally you would have had a chance to read all of this before the meeting, but what is it we're appealing? Do you know?
There, so now we're on number 2, and
I
this
didn't
is
have a
what
chance to
they're
read
going
this
to
one
present to us, right?
So I didn't have a chance to read this one.
What is it we're appealing, Madam Clerk?
So we're reading about the
And
hazard.
agenda item number 2, we have the hazard mitigation appeal before us. So if you would like to call the person who's going to present the hazard mitigation appeal, they can come to the podium and present it to us.
Who, ask the audience
He'll
who
tell
will be
you.
here to present the hazardous mitigation.
Who will be here to present the hazardous mitigation?
Thank you, ma'am. You would tell them to come to the podium, state the
Come
name
to
and
the
address for the record.
podium, state your name and address for the podium, for the record.
Yep. Very good.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Bernadette Calloway, and I reside at 4135 Cherry Lane, Panama City, Florida. Need the zip code 32404. And I'm here with a hazard mitigation appeal. The city of Parker is a small city off the coast of Gulf of Mexico. The small municipality is at constant risk of hurricanes and power outages that could spell disaster for our small community. Because of Parker's proximity to the Gulf of Mexico, it has very hot summers and fall months. It could be deadly for long occurrences without power to provide air conditioning for the community. In response to these dangers, hazard mitigation is pushing for funding towards disaster kits that families can keep in their homes in case of an emergency. These kits would include first aid, food, water, solar blankets, and flashlights and batteries to last a family of 4 for the first 72 hours of a disaster. The Hazard Mitigation Center is here to present an appeal for funding from the city as well as space in the sports complex park to provide the information in the kits. A disaster kit for a family of 4 will cost about $42 per family. The Hazard Mitigation Center is asking the city of Parker to pull together $1.5 million so that every home may be prepared for a disaster. They also appeal to make it compulsory for families to have a disaster kit in their homes. This means that every family would be required to own a disaster kit, even if the funding cannot be pulled together to provide a free kit. The City Council is interested in the hazard mitigations appeal and has invited members of the community to debate any possible outcomes for approving or denying the request. Members of the community should come in with prepared statements that explain their reasoning behind their decision to the council. Thank you.
Ma'am.
You just say, is there any, well, I'm gonna let the mayor explain this. This is what the mayor does.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak to this issue?
Is there anybody else who would like to speak in this position?
Speak to this issue? It was items 3 and 4.
And then you can ask anybody from the audience representing reporter of media.
Anybody from the audience representing reporters/media?
All right, now I gave you your instructions ahead of time.
You left it at the police car, didn't you? That's what it is.
So I am here to report for the media. I'm outraged that we're looking to spend this type of money on disaster kits. I feel it's a violation of human rights and forced to buy something or own something.
Okay.
And you say thank you.
Thank you.
And trust me, Mayor faces that all the time, and Mayor looks at them and says, thank you very much.
I'm perplexed sometimes. I think, golly. What else you got?
So now I read 3.
You got another one? Uh-huh.
Is anybody representing local business leaders?
Who has the script for local business? Let's have a more positive approach today. Don't scream at us.
Yes, we are representing local business leaders, and we think that it'll be more effective to buy supplies through mass producing companies other than locally here in Panama and Parker.
Thank you. Is anybody representing general public?
Public and the taxpayer.
Representing the general public.
He's being coached.
My name is Mark Dunn, and my address is 199 Ryder Lane, Panama City, 32404. And Mayor, why should we be expected to pay the taxes on this, but then we also have to supply our own supplies? Why are we double paying for this?
And
Thank
council, you can, thank you. Very good. One thing we didn't tell you was that any time that you want to answer any of the questions, you can feel free to jump in there and respond. The mayor's not the only person that responds. Anybody on the council that may want to tell Sharice to sit down or anything like that, during a public meeting. So you can feel free to do that, because we live in a democracy, right? Everybody has a chance to speak. So, is there in your script, what is the next thing we need to do? We talk about the money.
They have a discussion.
Yep. Each of you knows what the discussion is, right? You should have it in your script.
What they were talking about.
Yeah, it's the council's going to have a discussion.
You have to make the decision as the council, so now you have to talk. and
You have to
figure out
talk
what you
through
wanna
what
do.
it is you think we should do to meet the minimum requirements of the thing. All right, good job. Not too bad? Good. Well, pot on the stove. No eggs for lunch.
Okay.
All right, now our coaches are back. That's good.
We must have a discussion amongst the council whether we want mitigation or not.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, mitigation?
You're
The-
going to
the
discuss
kids.
it amongst yourselves.
No, the kids, the
Normally,
disaster.
at this point, they already know what they're going to say because they've had a chance to read it, you know, and prepare for it. They get their packages a few days before the meeting, so the council already is prepared to talk about it. Mhm. But we're going to have some conversation here in a minute. I feel like someone's going to bring something up.
I don't think we should have to. So, we're supposed to discuss it?
Yes, the council. You and the council. What you're gonna, I haven't read the script, but whatever it is that you're gonna discuss, you're about to do it in a few seconds.
This is the hazard mitigation.
This is the hazard mitigation being discussed.
So, one of the things that you can do is you can say that
If somebody wants to be prepared, they shouldn't be.
They do it their own stuff, they buy their own flashlight, right?
Yeah, they can buy their own flashlight and they can buy their own water.
That's right, that's right.
Right, we've been putting out a fire.
That's right. That's exactly right. That, you're right.
So they should have their own choice of who's
you
going
just
to
have to let them know.
And my dad made a good point. But taxes they'll pay for other things.
Right.
Even though you're not just going to
You're
pay
right.
for them.
You're right. And that's conversation. In a minute, we'll send that out. Our council will be ready to move forward. Is there
Think we
any
need
conversation?
Another minute? Are you?
Have they
Did
made
you
a
want-
motion yet, Mayor?
No, we
Are we
we
ready?
don't have a motion one way or the other.
Do you wanna make a motion to approve it?
And then we'll have conversation, and that's when we say about what we agree or disagree to do.
I would have said bring to my, I would have said I would have added to my dad's clothes, but I can't.
Yep.
My dad.
That's right. Council? Anybody? Does anybody want to have a conversation about the subject matter?
Sorry,
It's quite all right.
I'm still trying to go over it.
I understand.
Well, if there isn't a motion, then
So, there's no motion to say, hey,
and
we
then we'll
want to
just
do
go to
this
the
and
next.
that.
What happens is, if nobody makes a motion, it's called it dies on the vine. That means that it's a moot point. We won't have a conversation about it. If somebody makes a motion and there's no second, then we won't talk about it. It's also dead on the vine. But if someone makes a motion and a second is made, before the vote is called, before she calls for the vote, we'll have conversation. And we can talk about what we believe, and then the audience will have a chance to speak about what they want to talk about, and then we'll vote on it. So,
But you don't make a motion unless you support it.
or you could make a motion and not support it,
Correct. Do you support that?
Do you support?
So we just say it.
and we can't make a motion. We're the fifth. We don't get to stay. All we do is break the tie. They do a thing called passing the gavel, but I've never done that before, and I don't recommend it. It's where somebody else takes over from the mayor for a few minutes while you vote, but we won't do that.
You can say that. You can just say, Mayor, I don't support this.
But if they do have a conversation, we're still in the
We'll
motion.
do- Right now, she's gonna say something like,
You have 100%
ma'am, what do you have for us?
I'll say that I don't support this because I don't want to force people to have the kit.
You know what I find very, very, very interesting about your statement? You are 20 feet from us, you can't hear our conversation. And she said the exact same thing, word for word almost.
So,
Isn't that amazing?
are you making a motion that,
You don't support.
that we do not support this?
So in other words, you're saying we won't purchase them, we're not gonna support it. Is that what you're saying, Tony? Basically?
She doesn't want anybody to be forced to have it.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. That's what you would say. Do we have a second?
Do you agree with what she's saying? You don't want it?
So you can make a
second
second.
the motion, so that way we can both agree that she doesn't want it. Do you want to do that? Okay. Go ahead and say you second the motion.
I second the motion.
Okay, and then you would say to the clerk, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Miss Banda?
Here.
No, this is, yeah.
Do you second it?
You
Oh,
say
agree?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Miss Adams Peoples?
Do you agree with
Yes.
Miss Graham?
Do you agree or disagree?
So,
They're gonna have
she
this-
doesn't understand what she's agreeing on.
So what she's asking is, do you agree that we're
She's
not
too
gonna
far
do
away.
this?
We needed her closer.
Or
So
do
what
you,
you just
do you
did, what
agree
you just
that
said yes
they
to
don't,
was
that
that
you're not gonna
agree that we're not
pass
gonna
this
force these families
and
to
require
have it, right?
everybody to have those kits? Or do you think that it's important? Okay, so then you would say, in this case, the motion on the table is, to not require everybody to have this kit. So, if you want them to have the kit, then you would basically say, no. And if you do want them to have the kit, or if you don't want them to have the kit, then it would be yes. So that's what they're asking you right now.
No? Okay.
And Mayor Dunn?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Okay.
So, what do we have? Do we pass? What do we have for a count?
We have a vote of 3-1. The motion passes.
Okay, very good, thank you. So we won't be spending the $5 million on first aid kits, right? Mr. Summerlin, we could pave another road now. Won't lose a school bus in a hole. Okay, was there a second item on the agenda?
There is a second item on the agenda. It is the park project.
Oh my goodness, the park project.
So, this is more of an audience participation.
Okay,
And just to let the audience know, this coming Wednesday at 5:30 in the community building, we are all getting together, the council and the citizens, to talk about the sports complex and what our vision for that is. So, if you look
everybody
at your
that would like to
Park
participate, just
for
please
all.
show up, for everybody.
A Park for All, we thought we would allow these guys to sort of decide what they'd like to see in a park, unbeknownst to us, that they were actually gonna be writing about a park.
Yeah, that's
So,
what I said, it's bizarre.
I thought maybe the council would like to read that and decide how they'd like to move forward on this project.
Read it to yourself. All of you read it to yourselves. Okay.
I have a paper for a scaled model. So do you want to work individually, together? How would we want to do this? Our ideas? I don't know. That's up to the council to determine how do you want to proceed. Do you
So
have any thoughts?
what she's saying, what Madam Clerk's saying is that we need to decide how we're gonna move forward. Are we gonna work as a round table and draw a picture of how we'd like to lay it out? Or do any of you have any thoughts, and we could have a scribe, a person to draw it for us as we talked about it? Obviously, whatever we discuss, we have to vote on, and we wouldn't necessarily vote on it right now, but we definitely would talk about it right now. So, again, you gotta bear in mind that when you spend the money, we're early in the fiscal year, that's just the first 2 weeks of the fiscal year, starting October 1st, that we may have to use this money for something else as the year goes on, and we certainly don't wanna borrow it to be able to run the city throughout the rest of the fiscal year. But what in your mind, as for a topic of conversation, you mentioned the park, what would you put in the children's playground? Is that what you were saying?
I will put like swings, more swings for every so every child can like swing on.
Okay.
And like
My mind, I don't know, you don't know me real well, but my mind works on like 90 things at one time, and I just had something pop in my head that I'd like to ask all of you moving forward. We have a vandalism problem. What do you think would be a solution for vandalism? And it's not just an occasional problem, it's a daily problem, every day.
Do you know what he means by vandalism? Can you
Oh, I'm
explain
sorry.
to him what we
So
would face
what
here?
happens is we put in 400, just to give you an example, $400,000 worth of chain link fence. We don't lock it, but it's got a little flap down thing so the gates don't swing open. And people purposely destroy the hinges and the locking devices. They're not locking the gate on that within 24 hours of putting them in. Or we put in a bathroom, and within 24 hours they do $70,000 worth of damage to the inside of the bathroom. So I'd be interested from your perspective, for your age, what you thought might be a good thing to do to cure that, to stop. I mean, we probably couldn't stop it in its entirety, but what would you think about if we had new playground equipment? What would you recommend to securing it? Now, bear in mind, I've already put security cameras. We've increased the patrols. We have had our police go over there and arrest people. So we've used a variety of things so far. We haven't put anybody in the stocks or anything like that. But what it is, I'm kind of perplexed as to what I could do to stop people from destroying the stuff that we put over there for the kids to play on. Any thoughts? It's a tough one, I know. I mean, if we put more swings over there, I support that. The most popular thing in the park is pickleball, but if we put
they're
more
not
in,
going to know what pickleball is.
oh, I'm sorry. It's like
version
tennis.
like tennis.
It's
Yeah.
like a scaled down tennis is what it is, right?
Yeah, it's ping pong and
But-
tennis mixed.
Ping pong on steroids.
Yeah, ping pong on steroids. But
Basketball.
so go ahead. Well, other than the swings, what else would you? Anything in particular?
More like stronger fences.
A what?
Stronger fences.
Yeah, yeah. So that means I got to lock it up. That, you know, if I didn't want to lock it up, let's say I wanted to have it open until 7 in the morning to 7 at night, but I can't stop it.
What kind of things would y'all like to see over there and play on over
Yeah,
there?
what
or-
things
or
would you
do
like
over
us to
there?
put over there? Because we've done this before and it really did happen. The kids from Parker School told us what to put there, and that's what we put there.
So she said jungle gyms.
A jungle gym, really? Let me ask you a question. How about a 40-foot by 40-foot outdoor classroom that you could walk down from your school and have outdoor education inside an open-aired 40-foot by 40-foot classroom? Or maybe 60 by 60 or whatever it works out to be. 40 by 40 I think was the number we looked at. So it would be a very, very nice looking pole barn on 16-inch poles where the children could walk down from Parker School. You'd bring your supplies with you, but you would go into this open air classroom where you could draw and study and expand your horizons by being in the outdoors.
Science class.
Yeah, you could. And along with that, I've been told that ant farms are popular now, where you have a machine that, I don't know where you get the ants from, dig them up in the park, I guess, and then they make a nest inside there. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? And it's like glass, so you can see inside of the container. So, but those are some of the things I'd like to put over there. But what else other than a jungle? Is it a jungle gym? Is that what you want? Jungle gym would be a good thing. So you got to think about this now. When you buy a jungle gym, I've also got to have about 12 inches of chipped rubber to go under it. What do you call it now?
Safe zone.
Yeah.
Safe
So
zone.
that when you fall off, because people are going to fall off, we don't hurt yourself hitting the ground. So, what else other than jungle gym? What are you thinking?
Slides.
Oh, a slide? Yep. Don't we have a slide? We have a small one.
It's a small one on the pirate ship.
Yeah, we have a small one on the pirate ship. But you think a big slide would be popular?
The tree.
Do you have that at the Parker School?
We used to.
Do you?
We
Okay.
used to have a big slide.
Okay. Anything? Any thoughts from you for playground equipment?
Yes, sir. So I think they should also have a big box of toys that could be watched by security cameras, and after each after the playground closes each day, it could be sanitized. And
Okay. Any particular, just like plastic toys to play with in the yard, then you can wash them with bleach water, I guess, what you're saying. Is that kind of what you're saying? What about you, Mayor? Any thoughts?
We could do a sandbox, but obviously people at the beach.
Right.
We could do a splash pad because a lot of kids like playing outside, but it's always so hot. The water would be a nice place to be able to cool down.
Well, you're right. What would you play on that in your school clothes, or would you have to bring like bathing suit? You think you're looking at me like, oh man.
Don't worry, we all do the same.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So a jungle gym, that's doable, I'm pretty sure. What was the item you wanted?
The big slide.
The slide? It's doable. It's doable. I know they only gave you $100,000. That'll buy you about a foot of slide in today's economy. But it just will. It just all of the things that you have said are really, really commendable. It's just that it costs so much money. It's just ridiculous amount of money that we have today. When I sign payroll, I'm going off track here a little bit. When I sign payroll every week, I look at the checks and I think, how are my employees, how are the employees, how are the staff supposed to be able to make a car payment, make a house payment, make an insurance payment, buy their food and raise their children, buy gasoline for their cars, when no matter how much you pay, how much we give them, employees, it's still never enough. It doesn't matter what you pay people, it just doesn't seem to make it to the end. So what else do we have on there other than playground equipment? Or park? What did it ask for the park?
Wheelchair accessible.
Absolutely. Does that say that on there? Or you just thought of that?
It says, will you make an area that is more wheelchair accessible?
Yes. What do you think about that? Make the area wheelchair accessible. So if we do have an outdoor classroom, we could have it wheelchair accessible. We'd have to have it wheelchair accessible. We'd have to. No more. Do any of the kids go to your school have a wheelchair? Do you know? Have you ever seen any? Any of the
We could also make it like able for blind or sight impaired.
Sight impaired people could use it?
Yeah, because we do have a few blind people at our school.
Really? Yeah, that would be a very good idea. Did you hear what she said about being any of the kids sight impaired that are in your classes? Do you have any?
We have one.
You have one? And so what do they have special for that child?
They have a stick.
That they can feel with their hands, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we would want to put something in our classroom in the outdoor park that was for people who were sight impaired. Yeah, I think that you're dead right. You're 100% right. That would be something. Do they have somebody at school with them?
Yes. They also have Braille typewriters, those kind of things to help them
Okay.
learn.
Okay. So that might be something to think about buying for the school. Would be equipment for people who need Braille, things that they might need to have to be able to read and write, because everybody should be able to read and write. So.
And I think with regard to wheelchairs, oftentimes during the year we have temporary children who have to have wheelchairs temporarily for
And what about
injuries.
brothers and sisters who are wheelchair bound that come to pick up their siblings from school? Definitely got to be wheelchair accessible. Definitely got to be. So, all right. What else you got on the agenda for today?
That's it.
That's
What
it,
do we
huh?
want to do with the park? Do we want to create something, or do we want to just go with the ideas we have here?
Well, council, what would you? I would just, if it was my turn, I would say, council, what would you like to do? Be looking at buying the things that we've talked about, or do we have a vision for what we'll? Do we want a walking track around the outside?
That would be nice because there's a lot of people in the morning who like to walk,
Yes.
especially with their dogs and stuff.
Walking with your dog around the track at the park. What do you think about that? That's something that's not incredibly expensive to do. We're not going to provide them a dog or nothing, are we? We're going to bring their own dog. Okay. Because we don't have any extra dogs. We got a bunch of cats, but they don't let you walk them. But and what else? Walking walking the path around there. What else?
We could do some trees for shade, and what Elijah mentioned in her essay about that they do help the environment.
They
and
do.
Provide a lot of needed fresh air, paper. They provide a lot of shelter for.
I learned something
animals.
today about trees, and I've been here a long time on this earth. I did not know this till today. When the trees blew down in the hurricane, I always thought that the 400 gallons of water a day that each oak tree drank was its job. But I found out today, because every day I go for a ride around the city with one of the department heads, and I found out today the reason that the chlorine sometimes is a little bit high in the water is because where the water lines lay in the earth, they're no longer shielded by the trees that were there before the hurricane. So the sunshine is beating down through the soil, through the PVC pipe, and boiling the water in the lines, causing a bacterial change. And the trees never allowed that before the hurricane because they put a canopy over the sides of the roads, which is on each side of the road is an easement, and that's where the pipe is laid on each side of the road. And we were out this morning, and the public works director, we were discussing a situation that we've had recently and how we could remedy it. And that's what he told me. He said that they discovered that it was the lines being 18 inches below the soil for the water line coming to your house, because it's only about that big. The sun was going through the sand and permeating through the PVC pipe that brings the water, changing the chemical composition of what we consume, drink, shower, whatever. But you're right, trees, absolutely trees. We have a council member right now who loves to buy trees, and they're not cheap. A tree could cost $400 to have it picked up and delivered and put in the earth. And I could use about 10,000 of them to do it right, you know. So what else? You're helping me a lot now. What else could we put in the park? Any thoughts that we could put in there? So we got a walking track, we got some new trees, outdoor classroom, playground equipment. What else? What about a pond? Do you think a pond would be a good thing?
Yeah.
Where would we put a pond? Or will we have like, we'd have to chain link a fence around it because people would fall in it. So maybe if we had a pond that held water, we could get fish, and once a year we could do a fishing tournament, something like that. We'd go down there and then have a big fish fry or something. I'm just throwing thoughts in my head popping out. But anything you guys could think of, tell us what if you were to go to the park with your mom and dad today, what would you look to do when you got to the park?
It would be nice to be able to have an area where you could do picnics on like picnic tables
Yep.
or
So picnic tables, what about grills? Put some of those grills out there that they
yeah,
have.
we could do those outdoor cooking
Yep.
areas that
Yep.
have the grill and an area for prepping.
Yep.
Um,
Did you say prepping?
yeah,
That's very clever.
prepping.
So we're gonna have an area by the picnic table where we can prep our food and cook our food. Absolutely, that's doable.
What about a water refill station?
A what?
Water refill station for water bottles?
A water bottle, you know
We just put
what?
one of those in.
Did you? We just
It's actually on the new bathrooms that just got installed.
Okay, I can cross through that one.
That's really good. I didn't know, a water bottle refill system.
There's 2 drinking
And that way you'll
fountains and
reduce the
one
amount of
is a water
plastic we
bottle.
put back in the garbage, in the
We
earth.
actually just got that at last
Recycling,
minute. It was an
check.
upgrade that
Check.
they just,
Really?
yes.
That's clever,
Nice.
man. Any thoughts? So, I mean, we've covered quite a few,
A bigger field.
a bigger area, you mean?
A
A big,
field so that they can play like soccer and
do you think if we put
football.
goals over there, for football field?
Yes.
Do you think, I mean, do you really think that the school or the children, because I will do it if I feel like I can get my money's worth out of use out of it.
And I will be here on Wednesday, because that is a real topic, because, other areas are expanding their football programs.
Yes.
And I know that Parker used to be really viable with
Yeah.
that, so. that
Now,
was-
normally we'd say, ma'am, please come to the podium
Oh,
and
yeah,
state
don't
your
come
name
to
and.
the podium. No, I wasn't gonna say that, I was gonna wait till Wednesday, but
Yes.
that is definitely,
But-
something,
So if I can challenge you on that, if
Okay.
you can get some of the leagues or the coaches to attend.
yes, I can do
Because the
that.
biggest problem we have is right before the storm, we actually acquired Tommy Oliver's old football goals. And we still have
Nice.
those, but we haven't refinished them and done anything with it. But the problem was right before the storm, we were going that route, but the need or the coaches or the interest just wasn't there. So we really hate to lean that way if we don't have the support from the coaches and the leagues or the teams that want to play here.
So my brother-in-law is the league over the
Okay.
league of GCYFA, so yes.
So
we'll
please
be
get him here.
We'll
Oh.
be here.
That is very important,
And-
actually.
One of the things is that a lot of the equipment that we had for the football league that we did have, it ended up scattered all over the place,
In the
and we were
pile.
able to recover a lot of it, the helmets and the shoulder pads, because I know that those are rather
Let's do
expensive.
it.
So I do have a lot of
But
that.
if you think about it, that's cheap to put that up. It's not expensive. The equipment would probably cost more than the goals to be erected, right? If all you're gonna do is paint them fiberglass and stand them.
Well, they're all. I actually said we pride ourselves. We've had them since the storm, and they didn't get damaged. They need to be refinished, but
Okay.
we still have Tommy Oliver's old goals.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
So, what you may or may not know, because you probably don't know this happens, you're in bed when it happens probably, but where the goals were, in between the 100 yards is also where we land our helicopter. It's not our helicopter, but we do survival flight training. And we need that area right there to land in the middle, but it's plenty, 100 yards is more than enough. But putting those goals up, believe it or not, tells they call it stair stepping when they land the bird, when they land the helicopter, but they can see those goals, and so that they're able to center in the middle of the field. So I did not know we had those. That's good. We could get that. What do you think it costs to put those back?
I don't know how to get a quote on getting them refinished. But
And
they're-
Sharice, you gonna be here for
Yeah,
sure Wednesday?
I will, it's on my calendar, and it is gonna be my ongoing effort to be here on this week.
Yeah, because we'll probably have more meetings as time goes on.
Okay,
And the reason the clerk thought this would be good, because you guys are important to have the input from your brain. Because sometimes adults don't always make the right decisions, and you get your input. It's very important.
Mary, there's a reason why they created a show where you're smarter than a 5th grader.
Exactly. They did, didn't they? Are you smart? And that's
Yeah.
right. Most of us aren't. So, is everybody here 5th grade? Okay.
If I can, I will touch base on the water pad. This water pad. I know it's kind of a real touchy issue, but the water pad is nice and it's nice to have. The only drawback with a water pad is you have to have a full-time employee watch that water pad.
Right.
Because you have to test that water every so many hours to
Right.
make sure that someone hasn't done anything in the
And
water
that's right.
that makes it
Pee
unsafe
depends or
for
whatever,
y'all to
yeah.
be in. And then you also have to watch the age groups that go in the splash pad, because the older kids like to go in there and mess it up
Yeah,
for the
yeah, I
younger
can
kids.
see where that is. Who has one? Lynn Haven has
Lynn
one.
Haven has them.
Yeah.
And you got to figure Parker doesn't have the staff that Lynn Haven does.
Yeah.
Or the,
What she said was when it's really hot,
Mhm.
how nice it would be to do that. Now, does it turn mildew over there? Does it go?
well, splash pads recirculate the water, kind of like
Okay.
a water thing.
Yeah.
But there's also, you know, you don't really necessarily have to have a splash pad. You could have water features that just spray the water, but it doesn't keep spraying the same water.
Oh, I see. And would we use well water for that or city water?
Could be well or city.
Could it be well? We're in the process. Have you got your well in?
It's in, but it's not turned on yet.
Okay, we just spent $25,000 on having a new well installed at the sports complex for irrigation and stuff. But that would also be a good thing for some kind of a water park thing. I don't know what you'd have, but yeah, that's a good thing. Let's think about that. What else? Trees, water. What else? What other things would you think would be good? Any thoughts?
Anything you like to play on?
You could do like a bucket with balls and toys that kids could
That's what she said. Take some toys and what we're really looking for are things that it takes care of itself. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to have an attendant, because the machine is not as expensive as it is to hire somebody and have them out there on picking the stuff up.
Teeter totters and merry-go-rounds and
Yeah, we had a teeter totter at one time.
Or a big Connect 4 game that you can play. Like they make the wood.
Oh, they do, don't they?
Yeah. Like Connect 4 out of wood. And you can put the little things in so that way you guys can play games and stuff like that.
That would be a good thing.
a lot of the other cities are having the string line
Zip lines?
zip lines.
Really? Okay. All right, anything else you could think of? No? Okay, what else we got, Madam Clerk?
So, Mayor, you had suggested someone draw. When you hired me, you didn't tell me I might have to draw something. That is not my skill
I
set.
meant the pistol.
That's not my skill set. I am not an artist. So, maybe we could adjourn the meeting officially, and maybe they could get together and create their vision.
Would that be something you think you could help us with? We'll adjourn our meeting, and then we will move into getting a piece of paper and pick someone who can draw really well. And then you and the council and the mayor can come up with a drawing of what you think or how you would envision the changes to the sports complex. And then on Monday, we'll make sure that the council members and everybody in the room receives a copy of that drawing, so that they can say, well, you know, these kids are the ones that's going to play on it. This is their vision. This is what they would like to have.
I can certainly have it posted in the community building.
We
so
could.
people
We
could
could
see
get
it.
enlarged to put it in there.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have. You said to the council. Is there any discussion?
Is there any discussion?
Correct. And is there anything you'd like to talk about that's not on the agenda, like any upcoming events or anything that you might want to let the council and the people know? You don't have to have anything
You
if
don't
you
have to
don't.
have anything, but I mean anything that you want Parker to know or you want Parker to do.
I don't have anything.
No? Nothing? Okay. Ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything that you'd like us to know?
No, sir.
Nothing? About you, Mayor? Nothing? Okay. Take your gavel. Meeting's over. Very good.